So now let's proceed to our third step, that is do the data entry operation by reading the Excel file. Let me copy this step and paste it under task cell. Actually, this is our next step we have to do after downloading the Excel report. So you can see that this keyword is undefined. So we have to make this keyword defined. For that, you can create a keyword set and paste the keyword name. Now you have to add some functionality to this keyword so that when the bot, whenever it actually comes across this keyword, it should read the Excel file and do the data entry operation. So first so let's do this. So first we have to read the Excel file. For reading the Excel file, first you have to open the workbook or open the Excel file. For that, under Robocop, there is a special library, or sorry, there is a special keyword which is known as open workbook keyword. And if you look, there are two same open workbook keyword defined under different libraries, which are actually Excel based libraries. One is rpa.excel.application and one for rpa.excel.files. So what is the difference between these two libraries, rpa.excel.application and rpa.excel.files? This rpa.excel.application library requires Excel to be installed in our system, and rpa.excel.files doesn't require that Excel should be installed in our system. It is actually optional. So in my case, I am using the rpa.excel.file library. Okay, so to utilize this open workbook keyword coming under rpa.excel.files, first I had to import this library. So let me first specify the library under here, library rpa.excel.files. So now I have to specify this keyword to open the workbook. So that if you go to this documentation, you will actually open the workbook by providing the path of the Excel file as an argument to this keyword. Let me copy this keyword and just specify this keyword here after 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have to specify the path to the Excel file, that is path to this challenge.xlx. So we can provide the argument after 2 spaces from the keyword 1, 2. So file is being saved in the current directory itself. So I am providing that path here. So after opening the workbook, next is we have to read the Excel file and store in a table. So if you open the Excel file, which I actually had downloaded it for demonstration purpose. So what we have to do is after opening the workbook, we have to read this Excel sheet and store in a table. For that, there is a library, so there is a keyword that is provided in the Robocop, which is read worksheet as table. Okay, which is coming under rpa.excel.files. So this read worksheet as a table will read the specific Excel sheet from that workbook and store it in a table variable. So let me do that here. So the output of this keyword will store this data in a table variable. So we are creating a variable here which is actually given by a name table. So for specifying a variable, that is scalar variable, you should always specify a dollar sign. Okay, that we will discuss later more about that. So let me specify the keyword after 2 spaces. So now we had to pass some argument to this read worksheet as a table keyword. So what are the argument? First is the name of the worksheet. So since you know that the Excel sheet from where this data is being stored is sheet 1. So you have to provide the sheet name here. 1, 2. Now you have to specify whether there is header or not. Since there is header, we can provide header is equal to true as argument. 1 2 header is equal to, okay. So the output of this read worksheet as a table will store the details of the Excel content in sheet 1 to this table variable. Okay. So now after storing the data in the table variable, we can close this workbook. For that, there is another keyword which is known as close workbook, coming under rpa.excel.files. So we can specify that, and it will actually close the active workbook. So there is no need of providing any argument here. So there is close workbook. Okay. So it will close the workbook. So after doing the Excel part, so we have done the Excel part here, that is opening the workbook, then reading the Excel worksheet and closing it. So we have stored the Excel details in the table variable. Okay. So now what we have to do? We have to do the data entry operation, like taking that each data from the table variable and then inputting it to the corresponding field. So this is actually the starting of our RPA challenge, or this is the main aim of our RPA challenge. We have to input the detail in a very shortest time. So we have to start this challenge. So for starting this challenge, what we have to do? We have to click on the start button. So prior to entering these details, we have to click on the start button so that the RPA challenge get started. So for that, we have to use a keyword which is coming under rpa.browser library, that is click button keyword, which actually helps to click the start button. So let me just copy this one here. Now we have to provide the locator as an argument to this click button. So we can either provide id, or I think as per the documentation we can provide id, name and value as a locator to this click button keyword, or we can provide the XPath directly. Okay. So for writing the XPath for this start button, so you can just right click and click on inspect, and now you can provide the XPath for this start button. For that, let me click on Ctrl plus F to write the XPath. So the XPath is, I am writing the relative XPath here to identify the start button, because I feel the relative XPath seems to be more stable than the absolute XPath. So I am considering this taking this class attribute here and its value. Let me copy this one here, and now you can see that when I specify this relative XPath, it is able to identify this start button. So now we can copy this XPath and then paste it as an argument to the click button. 1 2. Oh, sorry, I think I have pasted it wrong. So okay, yeah, it seems to be correct. So after clicking the button, now we can start the data entry process. And now what we have to do is we have to take each row from this Excel file, or each row from the table, and then we have to input it into the corresponding field in the website. That is the next step that we have to do here. So for that, we have to loop through this table. Through each row of table, we have to loop. So for that, we can use the for loop here. For the for loop, actually syntax is for, I have to loop through each row in the table variable. For data in table. So what does this code actually signifies? This code actually signifies that it is asking to loop through each rows under this table. So this data actually signifies each row of this table variable. And to signify this table variable as a list, we have provided at instead of dollar sign, because when you provide a dollar sign, it this for loop will consider this table variable as a scalar variable. So to consider it as a list, we have provided at symbol. Now under this loop, we have to provide the actions for this data entry operation. So since it will become a very large step when you specify it under for loop, so it's better that you can specify, you can create a keyword which actually do the data entry operation for a single person by accepting the argument, that is each row as an argument, and then do the data entry operation for a single person, and likewise and so on for all the rows. So under this for loop, you can define a custom keyword which will do the data entry operation for a single person by accepting the data argument. Okay, so let's see. So when you do this process, you will understand. Okay, let me specify that one, two. So fill. Let me just specify the custom keyword as fill the data for one person. Okay, so this is a custom keyword that I am going to develop, which actually will fill the data for a single person by accepting the argument as data, which is actually the row which we have to fill, or the row which actually contain the person information to be filled in. So let me specify the argument after two space. Now specify data, and then so we have to do this process for all the rows. Then after that, we have to end this loop after all the row has been processed. So that is why we have specified end. Now we have to define this keyword so that it will do the data entry operation for one person by providing this data argument, which is actually the row which contains the person's information. So that for that you have to create one keyword. Let me copy this one. Keyword name, fill data for one person. Now here you want to pass this data argument to this custom keyword. How you can do that? You can do that by using argument keyword. For using that, you can just specify it after four spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, an argument keyword, which actually helps to the advantage, this functionality of this argument keyword is it actually enables this keyword to accept the argument. Okay, so in this case we need to accept which argument? The data argument, which is actually the row. So for that we have to specify the argument 1, 2. The argument we have to accept is data. We can give it any other name, but for easiness we can provide the same name. Okay, so argument is data. Now you have to since to make the argument to be passed into this keyword, we have been providing this argument keyword so that we can accept this data argument from outside. Now we have to provide the actions for the data entry operation and then clicking on the submit button. So for inputting the text into the specific input field, we can use input text keyword. Okay, so let's first we can follow the order in this Excel file itself. First we can input the details of the first name. So first for that we can use input text keyword. So for input text keyword, you have to pass the arguments as locator for that particular input field and the value you want to pass here. So first you have to pass the locator. So locator you can pass locator as XPath itself, because I see it's more stable. So let me write the XPath for this first name. So the XPath for this first name we can write as input I will take this ng slash reflect slash hyphen name, because I see it is a unique element or unique attribute for this input field first name. Let me take that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, now you can see that when you write this XPath, this is actually the relative XPath, and you can see that the first name field is being indicated. Even when you click submit, you can see that the field position changes, but whenever you try to indicate, you can see that the first name is always getting indicated. So this is the locator that we need to pass to the input text keyword. We can pass this argument to input text keyword after two spaces, 1 2. Now we have to pass the value that we need to type into this input field. So 1 2, I have to provide the next argument, that is a value to this input field. So you have to pass what the first name value, and the argument that you are receiving is actually a row which contains the person detail. So to extract the first name from this row, you have to use this following format: data, which is actually a row. To access the first name, you can give the column name. The row, let me copy this one here. So this is the way you can access each column values from each row. For example, if you need to access the first name, you have to provide the row, then square bracket, then the column name. Okay. Similarly, you have to do the same process for other input field. So let me do that for next for last name. Let me provide it for last name, and let me write the locator input. This is the same process you have to repeat for other fields also. Okay, we just copy this one here. Okay, now you can see that the field is being indicated, and let me copy this as a locator. Text, you can pass the locator as this one. Now you need to type the last name. For typing the last name, you can use data row, and then you need to specify the column name from which you need to extract the last name. So this is the way. Okay. Now similarly you have to do for other fields. Now you can fill the details for company name. So let me write the locator for that company name. Locator, I am referring XPath here. Let me just copy this one here. Okay. Now you have to give the company name. So to extract the company name from the row, you have to use the row, then the square bracket, then inside the square bracket you have to provide the column name from which you need to extract the company name. Good. The next you have to do for role in company. So for typing the role in company into the input field, you can use input text keyword itself. Input text keyword. Then you have to pass the locator for this one. So let me pass the locator. Uh, since everything is same, I'm going by a bit faster. Okay, so copy this one here, and now you have to pass another argument, which is the value, that is a rolling company. data, then you have to pass the column name from which you need to extract the roll income. Okay, cool. Now you have to pass which value? You have to pass uh, address. So next is you can use the input text keyword to type the address. For that you can have to write the XPath for it. Sorry, first you have to write the XPath for it. Mm, okay, so now you have to specify the value which you need to type to the to that input field. So you need to extract it from address column. So specify that here. So now you need to type email. So let me type email here. So now you have to specify the locator for email. So locator, let me copy this one attribute, because this attribute is actually common or unique. Actually, that's why I'm taking this ng reflect name attribute for all the input field. Okay, you can also check that. Copy this. You need to specify the value. The value is coming under email section. Next you have to input phone number. So you have to use input text to input the phone number. So you have to specify the locator for phone number. Let me copy this attribute to write the locator. Now, and okay. Now you have to specify the value from which, like, how you can get the phone number from that particular row. So just copy this here. Now since you have input all the values, now what you have to do, after filling all the values, you have to click on submit button. So for clicking the submit button, you have to use click button keyword that is coming under rpa.browser library. For that you can utilize click button. uh, Click button. Now you have to specify the locator. So for specifying the locator, submit button. Now we can utilize, we can write the XPath. You can specify any other attribute value, but I am specifying here XPath as a locator for the submit button. So we can specify type as attribute here. Yeah, working. You can copy this, you can paste it here. Okay, so in this way you can be able to fill the data for a single person. So what you are doing here, you are inputting all the data by using input text, then you are clicking the submit button. and the same step is repeated for all the other person data. That means all the other rows, the same process is being repeated, and after that it will end it. So this is what we are doing in the do the entry data operation by reading the Excel file. It seems to be a long process. So let's just run this process what we have built up to now, so that we can see whether our data entry is working perfectly or not. So let me quickly run this workflow. So it seems to be working fine.